Riddick, Escape from Butcher Bay was expecting the typical steaming turd from a movie-based game. Turned out to be surprisingly really good, 90% on Metacritic. Mercenaries, Playground of Destruction. It was GTA in North Korea. You could hijack anything and destroy any building and call in air strikes. Truly ahead of its time. Never could beat the final mission, though. Regardless, amazing. Ghost Trick. For me it's got to be an old Xbox game called Metal Arms. It's a bit old now but it's the shit. They were going to do a sequel but the company was bought out or bust or something. Custom Robo on the GameCube. Screen Cheat. It's a split-screen multiplayer game that you play online. Every character is invisible, and the only way you can kill each other is by looking at each other's perspective, hence Screen Cheat. Also some really funny additions into the game, e.g. a mode where every sound is replaced with an Australian going bugger. Cheap and hilarious. My Summer Car. It's like a car driving simulator that takes place in 90s Finland. You build your car, in the meanwhile you do dumb shit driving around and interacting with all the drunk men in the map, you can get drunk too. Kinda a trashy game but still fun. R/My Summer Car. Driver, San Francisco. Really cool game with a unique storyline. Sadly, it isn't available to the public anymore, sad face. Champions of Norwich on PS2. Been waiting for a remake forever. Loved it more than Baldur's Gate, Deadly Alliance. My wife and I must have played that game and its sequel for 100 hours. Edit, also, no love for Armored Core series either? Damn lol when I wasn't killing vampires in a black pit in Champions, I would destroy mechs in a parking garage p. Gun. It was a 360 launch title. I want it remastered so badly. One of my faves. Brave Fencer Musashi for the PS1. Split Second. A very good racing game with the added element of trying to destroy the other drivers with explosions. PS, you wrecked yourself. God hand, I know, the gameplay is a little clunky. But I'll be damned if it isn't funny. Kenshi, it's kind of a fucked up dystopian game that takes place in some barren hellhole. Not your typical AAA titles. More PC and independent. Lower budget. But as a gaming experience, I think it captures the very essence of what an organic gaming experience to be. The game itself is kind of this fucked up scenario and places you in the middle of it. Rise or fall, it almost feels like it's up to fate. But the cool thing is that your player gets stronger with repetition. So as long as you're alive, you've got a shot. Even if you're a bleeding, limbless, and crawling great distances starving. A scenario all too common in Kenshi. Star Siege Tribes. Came out in either 1998 or 1999, but was one of the first games that used projectiles and mid-air combat. The base game itself was pretty awesome, but what made it incredible was the extensive modding community. Full-fledged RPGs with unique textures, maps, and NPCs. The game is pretty much dead now, but still has a few active people and servers. Might be more nostalgia, but what an incredible game and player base. And AMP, #X200B, edit, if you want to check out an updated version of Tribes, look at https://www.reddit.com/r/midair/ https://www.reddit.com/r/midair, or T1 itself at www.playt1.com, https://www.playt1.com, looks like it's still pretty active. Gene d'Arc on the PSP was fucking fantastic. I hoped for a sequel or at least another game from the developers. It's honestly the only reason I haven't sold my PSP. West of Loathing. Golden Sun and AMP, Golden Sun, The Lost Age, two of the best RPG games I have ever played, and they need to make another one for Switch. Please make it happen, Nintendo. Shelter and Shelter 2. Simultaneously the most relaxing and stressful games I've ever played. So gorgeous, and the soundtrack is stunning. They're honestly works of art. Edit. I also forgot to mention Shelter 3 is coming out soon, and this one follows a herd of elephants, and I'm so excited. The Advanced Wars games. Almost fully overshadowed by the Fire Emblem series. Both were made by Intelligent Systems. Lord of the Rings, The Third Age. I love JRPGs, and this was one of the first from a property I actually recognized and could relate to. The playable characters are original, and the story walks hand in hand with the films, bringing in tons of nostalgic fights. I recently did a playthrough of that game on an old PS2. Still holds up. Super Robot War. For some reason, it just never picked up steam nor is mainstream in America. But if you like turn-based tactics games, high degree of stats customization, multiple game paths, and friggin' kick-ass mechas, you need to check this out. VA11 Hall A. It's a pretty darn chill game set in the future where you play as a bartender and mix drinks. The gameplay is quite simply, and the characters are pretty interesting. That, and Xenosaga 1-3 and Ace Combat 3-7. Michael Jackson's Moonwalker. UTE around Shamoning Batas. The Long Dark. I know that a lot of people still play it on PC, it's dead and neutered on consoles, but no mainstream war FPS has ever really truly delivered like PlanetSide. A very large battle, shifting fronts, real sneak attacks, infrastructure, drop ships, tanks, aircraft, open fields, cramped bases, actual long-range snipers, you name it. You actually took territory, and it was all persistent. Not just the same 5 capture points but hundreds. There was no better experience than fending off an unorganized wave attack with a team of good communicating players. Every time I see a new Battlefield, or COD, or whatever, it's still not going to touch it. It might look better and play smoother, but it won't capture that experience. I love feeling that cog in the machine feeling. Pyre by Supergiant Games. It's probably their least played title, but it is not only my favorite but might be one of my favorite games ever. The art direction and character design are world class. The story is unique and inventive, not to mention the game doesn't end if you lose, but the story changes, and the gameplay is weird but fun. But the best thing about it is the music. The music is the best I've ever heard in a video game, as every character gets their own themes, and the game ends with a song that is personalized to what you did in the game. I cannot recommend it enough. It is a truly beautiful artistic experience. The Nonary Games plus Zero Time Dilemma fantastic puzzle/escape room game series. I love the story, though some find it a bit out there. The second Viva Pinata game. For people who liked Undertale and those kinda of meta, fourth wall breaking RPGs, there was this little game called One Shot that came out in around 2014 that was magnificent. It's on Steam now, but it doesn't function the same way, because they wouldn't be allowed to. The original version, if you can find it, is genuinely one shot, in that you have to follow the directions closely and make sure you're satisfied with the difficult decisions you're presented with, because you literally can't go back and redo anything. It's the first RPG I played where the player actually is themselves, and simply communicating with the main character through the game, complete with sneaky messages passed back and forth and antagonists reaching out to mess with the player. It's truly a hidden gem, and I will sing its praises whenever I can. Skies of Arcadia. It ticks most of the early 2000s JRPG boxes, but does so in a pretty unique way. It's bright, optimistic, and fun in ways that sets it apart from its fellows.